particularly the part 3, which is called the discussion. So the kind of things we're going to look at today is the different types of questions that you can be asked. And we're also going to look at a good way for you to structure your answer so that it's very clear and easy for the examiner to understand it. And specifically, we are looking at food and diet. So that's our topic for this week. Okay. So let's look generally, first of all, about speaking part 3. So what can you tell me? What does anybody know about the part 3 of the speaking? Let's put your ideas in chat. Okay, yes, it's good. It's a question and answer session. You need to give long answers, Safina. That's very good. And yeah, it's related, very good, Vivian. It's related to the 2-minute speaking part in part 2. Okay, exactly, Brad. Yeah, it continues with more abstract questions. Okay, very good. So yeah, it's question and answer with some different, usually 2 subsets of questions. It's always on the same topic as the part 2, but in this case, it's more abstract or more general. You're not talking about yourself. You're not talking about personal things. You're talking generally about the world around you. Okay, and as the part 1, it's a minimum of 4 minutes and a maximum of 5 minutes. Okay. So, for example, this is how the examiner would introduce it. We've been talking about a restaurant that you enjoy going to, and I'd like to ask you 1 or 2 more general questions related to this. Okay. So, what sort of questions might the examiner ask you in part 3 if your topic in part 2 had been talking about a restaurant? What kind of areas might the examiner ask you about? Okay, different types of food. Yeah, healthy food, Sarah. Yeah, Vivian, different types of cuisines. How it relates to lifestyle. You're very good, Fadi. Okay, remember it's not personal. Remember it's more general. Okay, very good, Safina. How food trends have changed in your country. Could be specialities. Yeah. Okay. So let's look at it in a bit more detail now. So using the questions as a basis, if you look at that first picture, what kind of area are we focusing on now? Okay, good. Talking about a balanced diet, Brad, maybe talking about, yeah, so for example, vegetables, Kasim. What else related to what we're looking at? Yeah, sort of so healthy food, organic food, very nice, yeah. So healthy diets, what constitutes a healthy diet? Okay. Eating the rainbow for Hannah, that's very nice. I like that one. Yeah, and the different food groups, Nina, very good. Protein, carbs, fats. Yeah. Okay. Looking at the second picture, what kind of area are we focusing on there? Remember to keep it general, keep it abstract. Okay, ambience, very nice word, Rohan. You might talk about the aesthetics, yeah, very nice, Joan, of the restaurant, fine dining. Okay. Okay, what makes a good, the style, the decoration, things like that. Any other questions related to that? Okay, very good, Alicia. What kind of restaurants are popular today? Yeah, okay. Maybe you would talk about the clients, yeah, different clients for different restaurants. Okay, have a look at the third picture. What kind of area do you think we're looking at there? Okay, think about what they might ask you, not just Yeah, okay, it's a picture of a supermarket, but what kind of things might the examiner ask you about? Would you agree? Very good, Divya. Someone's been doing the speaking test. Okay, yeah, it's a store, but okay, maybe the benefits of shopping at a supermarket, different choices. Remember to keep it general, guys. Yeah. Okay, very nice. MD, impact of supermarkets or, safe food, how products are arranged. I quite like that. Very nice for Hannah, how it's affected small businesses. Very good. Okay, very nice. Ilkia's ready to eat products, so processed food, things like that. Cooking yourself, eating out. Okay. And have a look at the last one. So don't go shopping while you're hungry, Fadi. Very good advice, yes. Okay, so we're looking at farming. Okay, very good, Alicia. So talking about eco products, innovations of farming, Sarah, very nice. What kind of topics, what kind of debates or discussions might we have about that? Okay, very good, Vivek. The use of technology. Okay, we've got organic food, industrial farming, Brad. Yeah, irrigation techniques, Rohan. Very good. Large scale cultivation, Kasim. Very nice. Climate impact, Nina. Very good. Okay. So, it's a good idea when you've got these very general topics like food, but it's also a very good idea, to think about what could be the subsets of topics. So, farming and supermarkets and processed food and healthy food. Okay. So let's look at that in a bit more detail. So, do you think that's the kind of question you might get asked in part 3? What kind of food do you like? Nope, exactly. Oh, hi, Mark. Yes, definitely not a part 3 question. It's too personal. It's very much a part 1 style question. Okay. So, same kind of idea. How could you rephrase that question to make it a part 3 question? What do you think? Similar kind of like preference. Okay, very good, Vivian. Yeah, so popular foods in your area, your country, what people like nowadays. Yeah, various food preferences in your region, Rajiv. Exactly. Okay, so we're taking it from being personal to talking, about your culture, your country, your region. Okay, all right. So we're going to look at a few more of these types of questions and try and frame the part 3 questions, okay? Get you thinking from the examiner's point of view. So how do you choose which restaurant to go to? Very much a part 1 question. What could be the part 3 equivalent of that? Do you think? Okay, very nice, Mark. What criteria do people look for when they're dining out? What do people consider? MD, very good. Okay, some kind of comparison, online food versus fine dining, Rajiv, very good. Okay. Okay. We went for why do people go to different types of restaurant? Okay, fine dining versus street food, Ashik, very, very good. Okay, but remember to keep it away from being personal. Okay, they're not going to have you in the question. Only what do you think? Okay. What could keep a restaurant running? Very nice, Sarah. I like that. Yeah. Okay. What makes a good restaurant or a good business? Okay. Okay. Again, so we've got a part 1 question here. Do you prefer eating in a restaurant or cooking at home? So how do we make this a part 3 question? Got kind of comparison going on here. Okay, healthy food versus fast food. Okay, and which is benefits of cooking at home or eating outside, Rajiv? That's very good. Are people more likely to eat home cooked food or eat out in your country, Mark? Very good. Okay, very, very good. So which is more popular in your country, eating in a restaurant or cooking at home? Okay, so we're taking it from the personal and we're making it more general. Okay, similar idea. Has your taste in food changed since you were a child? So what would be a kind of similar topic, but a part 3 question? Okay, yeah, so very, very much, yeah, Mark's got it. So changes in types of food, food tastes over time, okay, trends of food in your country. Exactly, changes in eating habits, okay, variety is the spice of life, very true, okay. Oh, that's quite an interesting one, Rowan, I like that. Do adults, does the change in taste change when people become adults from children? Okay. So yeah, we've got a comparison here between present habits, trends, and what people were doing in the past. Okay. And what will you have for dinner tonight? So this is a bit of a tricky one. We're looking forward to the future. Bit of a hint there. What might we ask if we're looking to the future? Okay. Okay, that's a good question, Mark. Balanced meal for dinner. To have to dinner. Okay, wouldn't be your menu though. Remember, this has got to be general. What most people, what common. I think those are all good questions. Kind of focusing on the future here. There's a bit of a leap with this one. I quite like that one though, Nina. So really looking at the future. Okay, Farhana's got it. Yeah. Oh, food for the future. Types of food for the future. Okay. So those are all part 3 type questions, okay? Okay, very nice, Alicia. Can you predict what kind of food will be popular in 50 years? Okay, what do you think about fast food? How could we turn this into a part 3 question? Okay, yeah, it's unhealthy. Okay, yeah, good, Nigina. So taking it from personal to talking about your country, your society. Very nice, Mark. Benefits or drawbacks of eating fast food. Okay. So sometimes you get a statement. Some people think fast food is unhealthy, should be banned. Do you agree? Okay. All right, so we looked at quite a few different types of questions there. So let's focus on the question type now. So obviously there's a range of subjects that you can be asked about in the part 3, but the type of question tends to be the same. And you can use certain phrases and certain expressions for those types of questions. So anybody got an idea? Could you put some of those questions we looked at into categories of types of question? If you think about some of those things that we were looking at, the part 3 questions, some of the areas, any ideas of how we could categorize those questions? Okay, yeah, it is kind of a who, where, what, why. Okay, yeah, so opinion, one of them is that they're asking your opinion. Okay, very good, Sarah, asking you to describe something like the most popular foods. Very good. Comparison, Anna? Maybe comparison between local and global. Yeah, very good. Okay, so let's have a look. So yeah, so you might be asked to describe something. Okay, very good. Prediction, talking about the future. Advantages, disadvantages, Anna, very good. You're often asked to explain why something is the case, yeah, to give reasons. Agreeing or disagreeing, yes, Divya, so giving your opinion about something. Comparing to places or, global and local, as we said, male, female, adults, children. Okay. Talking about how things have changed between the past and the present, that is a very, very common one. And as we were talking about before, so predicting, speculating about the future. Okay, so how are things going to change in the future? All right, so you can really put all of the questions into one of those categories, regardless of what the topic itself is. Okay. So let's do some matching now. So the first question we looked at, some people think fast food is unhealthy and should be banned. Do you agree? So yes, okay, very good. That's definitely an opinion question. Okay. And what about the second one? What type of question is that? Okay, very good. So we're comparing between eating in a restaurant or cooking at home. Okay, what about the next one? Okay, very good. Yeah. Past and present. How has this area changed? Okay. What about this one? Why? Okay, exactly, Vivek. Yeah, we're giving reasons. Okay, so question generally beginning with why. Okay, what about the next one? Okay, very good. So we're describing types of food, types of cuisine in this case. So not difficult. The last one, how do you think our eating habits will change in the future? So it's a very common question to ask you to speculate about the future. Okay. All right. So let's move on now to talk a little bit more about how to structure your answer. Okay. So imagine that this was the answer that a candidate gave. We eat a lot of unhealthy food and don't get enough exercise. A lot of people can't control their weight. What do you think the question was that gave that answer? What do you think the examiner asked that candidate? Got a lot of question marks coming up there. Yeah, maybe about obesity, impact of unhealthy food. Okay, so a lot of different answers. So it's quite unclear, isn't it? I think it's quite a vague answer. It's really quite difficult to say what the person was asked. Okay. Why do you think it's quite a vague question? What is this lacking, this answer? What do you think is missing from the answer that could help us? Okay, we're getting that. Yeah, okay. So basically a proper structure, it's a bit too general. Okay, so let's look at a different answer. Same question, but different answer. And what do you think the question was here? Okay, I think Vivian's got it. Why are most people? Yeah, we've got a lot of why questions here. Very good, Mansur. We're asking about the reasons, aren't we? Okay, so what's different about this answer? Why is this one clearer than the first one? Okay, it's well organized. Okay, yeah, so it indicates, it kind of refers back to the question. It's structured. Okay, yeah, I think we're getting there. So mainly it's because it's the signposting. Okay, so we are introducing what we're saying with a clear expression, which tells the examiner what you are giving. Okay, so I think it's because, so clearly we're introducing our opinion of why. Okay, and then we give the reason. That's the main reason why. Okay, so you're using a linking expression or an introductory expression to highlight exactly what you are going to talk about. It's very similar to the task 2 in the writing, where it's very, very important to use linking devices to explain what you're going to say. Okay, and it's the same with the speaking part 3. Okay, so linking phrases, signposting expressions, very important. Yeah, exactly, Brad. There's a disconnect there, which it means it's hard to understand the flow of the answer. Okay, so it's not just about giving a long answer or using the good vocabulary, but they are looking for good structure in the particularly in the part 3. Okay, so let's have a look at that in more detail. Okay, so we've got our 6 question types that we looked at before: opinions, comparing, etc. So I'm going to put up some expressions, and I want you to tell me which category they belong to. Okay, so if I said absolutely, I couldn't agree more, what type of question am I answering? Okay, yeah, so that's clearly an opinion question. Okay, what about the second one? Okay, different types of, yeah, this is really a description. Yeah, different types of restaurants, different types of foods. Yeah, number 5. Okay, over the past few years. Okay, yeah, very good. Okay, so we're comparing the past and the present. Next one. Okay, very good. Number 6. Okay, clearly referencing the future there. What about that one? The biggest difference. Okay, yeah, we're definitely comparing there. Okay. The main reason. Okay, very good. No problems here. I very much doubt that people will. Okay, yeah. We're not quite sure there. Okay, well, it's opinion, but it's an opinion about the future. Okay, so we're speculating about the future. How about this one? It's because. Okay, very good. We're giving reasons. Okay. Key differences. Okay, yeah, very much so. Comparing. What about this one? Okay, I had a B in there. I'm not where the B comes from. Yeah, you're describing the most popular kinds of whatever it is. Okay, nowadays. Okay, and so finally, I agree to a certain extent. Okay, definitely the first one. Okay, good. So very, very important to use these kind of expressions as well as the grammar and the vocabulary. Structure is important in the speaking as it is in the writing. Okay. So let's have a look at something. So clearly we're going to be talking about fast food here, junk food. So going back to that one, some people think fast food is unhealthy and should be banned. Do you agree? Okay, so we looked at that. That was an opinion question. All right. So any ideas? Just put a very quick opinion in the chat. How do you feel about that? Should we ban fast food? Yes, no. Okay, that's very diplomatic. Okay, it depends on how much. Ban it. Yeah. Okay, give me your actual opinion. It's great. You've got some good expressions there, but what would you say? Do you think it should be banned? Not quite, says Winston. Quite like that. Completely eradicated. Very good. Okay. Controlled. Okay, so no, but nobody seems to be completely going for a total ban there. Okay, causes some disease. That's very true. Okay. All right, so let's have a look at a way of approaching this. Okay. People need to choose for themselves. So answer the question. Okay, so a clear statement at the beginning of opinion. Okay. Followed by a reason, so explaining your opinion. Okay. Followed by an example, a specific example. Okay, you can see how this is quite similar to the paragraphs in the task too. It's the same kind of idea of getting a very easy to understand answer. Okay. Then maybe give the other point of view, what the other side is, and then bring it all together. Okay. And what have we spelt? Who likes to do word puzzles? Areas. Thank you. Good. Yeah, okay, so these are the areas to look at when you answer the question. Okay, very good. So let's look now at a very specific example. Okay, so first of all, you're answering the question. So this is just one example, but we got some missing words to fill in. So I agreed to, okay, very good, Winston, to some extent. Okay. And then you explain why. So I agree to some extent. Okay, good, yeah, Rohan MD, because I think, so different opinion expression. There is, okay, very good. Too much sugar in food today. Okay. And then we give an example. Any ideas? Does anyone have a specific example of the amount of sugar in food today? Okay, soft groups. Anyone? A very specific example. How much sugar do you think is in a can of Coke? Let's say. How many teaspoons of sugar? It's 40%. 12, 42, probably. 12 cubes, sugar cubes. Okay, very good. We got a good. So we're giving our example for. How do we introduce our example? Okay, for instance, very good. Yeah, or for example. For instance is a nice one to use for the speaking. Some fizzy drinks have over 40. So somebody's put 42 actually. So yeah, very good. Over 40, 42 teaspoons of sugar in one can. Okay. Then you can give an opposing point of view, okay, because you've agreed to a certain extent, so it's not a very strong opinion. So, okay, very good. On the other hand, tender coconut, is that an alternative drink? I'm not sure, but random. I think people should be free to eat what they like, okay. Very good, right? Even if it's really unhealthy. Okay, so a lot of people put that in their opinion. It's more about free choice, freedom of choice, than it is about control. Yeah, everything in moderation, Divya, that's very, very true. Yeah. Okay, then we kind of bring it together. So if we want to just bring everything together, it's a little bit formal, Amna. Okay, we could say to sum up, avoid the very formal expressions like to conclude or in conclusion. Remember your, okay, in a nutshell, Winston, very nice, yeah. Okay, in one word, Victoria, very nice. So overall or basically, Winston, that would work very well as well. Yes, I think fast food isn't healthy. but I don't think it should be banned, or although I don't think it should be banned. Okay, so clear progression through the answer. Everything is introduced with a linking phrase and introductory phrase. Okay, so similar thing. Why do people go to different types of restaurants? So thinking about how we looked at that answer before, what would you say? Yeah, you would give reasons. Very good. So this is the kind of question where you have to give reasons. Okay, Sajid, maybe they want to explore different foods. Okay, why? What would you say? Okay, variety. Okay, different types of occasions. Very good. Okay, trying something new. So we got variety, new taste, different kinds of, okay, they don't know how to cook. Yes, that would probably be one for me. Yeah, they get bored eating the same thing, Rohan, that's very true. Bored of eating at home, right? Okay, so let's have a look at this. Okay, so I would say that stress-free environment, Raymond, I like that. Yes, it depends on the occasion. Okay. Now you're going to be reasons. Okay. Because, okay, clearly people go to, okay, let's say, yeah, different or distinct, sorry, or certain we've gone for, but various, something like that would work. Okay, we're giving an example. So for, okay, very good. So for instance, works very well here. If you're celebrating a special occasion like a birthday or, okay, very good, anniversary or something like that. Yeah, we went for anniversary as well. Okay, you might go to, what kind of restaurant might you go to if it was a special? Yeah, expensive restaurant, a classy restaurant, chic, very nice, yeah, exotic. That would be good. Yeah, maybe a popular, maybe a quiet one, Winston. I think that's probably quite good if it's your anniversary. Yeah. Okay. We've gone for formal. Okay. If we then move on to the other side, a more affordable Safina. Yes, okay, maybe. However, good, yeah, however, okay, or on the other hand, or yes, moving from one side to the other. If someone just wants to, got a nice colloquial term here, very good, Divya, grab a bite to eat. Okay, that's specifically the expression, grab a bite to eat. Okay, you know, they might go to a fast food place because it's more convenient. Okay, so summing up. Okay, remember to keep it informal. Okay, overall, different one. Okay, you could say basically. Very good, fellas. Basically, or ultimately, or at the end of the day. Okay, very good, MD. You got that one. At the end of the day. Yeah, I think the okay, yeah, the type of restaurant, the choice of restaurant, that was good all in all there. Yeah, the style of restaurant, that would work as well. Depends on the situation. Okay, the kind of restaurant. Okay, also very good. Okay, so let's look at some other examples here. So these are the same ones that we looked at before. So maybe if you can just put up on chat a couple of sentences, try and structure your answer with some signposting expressions. Okay, imagine I'm asking you this in the speaking test. Which is more popular in your country, eating in a restaurant or eating at, or cooking at home? Remember, you want to say maybe 5 or 6 sentences. Okay, give me a full answer. If you can say just maybe 2 or 3 sentences, what would you say using the signposting expressions? You can't just say cooking at home. Okay, very good, Rohan. Yeah, in your opinion, more popular, people can't afford to go out every day. Okay. Okay, very nice. Got some good expressions here. Generally speaking, I would say in my country. Okay. All right. What would be the reason for that? The foods, yeah. Okay, because. So can you give me some reasons for the opinion that you gave? It's healthy and provides more nutrients. Okay, that's true. Home cooked foods are healthier. Eating out is more fun. That's certainly true. Okay, affordability. Okay, these are all very good. Tasty food. It's cheaper to cook at home. Okay, hygiene. Yes. Okay, we've got some very nice. Okay, can you give me an example? Good cooks. Okay, Ukrainian women are well known as good cooks. Okay, remember that? Okay, very good, Sabia. You need a balanced diet, but it's hard to get that. Okay, very good, Anna. So people are more busy these days. So, you know, that means that eating out in a restaurant's more convenient, certainly faster. Okay, with some great, for example, someone got poisoned. Oh dear, I'm sorry. You can give a real life example. Yes, that's perfect. Okay, we've got a bit of illness going on here. Okay, sorry. Okay, you can control your health more. So very, very good. Okay. Okay, now, okay, so some of you are on one side, some on the other, but how could you then give your an alternative point of view to the one? So for example, Brad said it was more fun to eat out, but what might be an argument for cooking at home? Or, you know, cooking at home, you can control the food more, but what would be an argument for eating out? Okay, Mariam, good point. Women are working more, so it's, on the other hand, it's time consuming. Very nice, Divya, very nice. Okay. Anything else? Okay, we've got a lot of good trends going on here. That's really good. Okay, busy lifestyle, hosting people, very nice. All right. Okay, let's move on to the next question. So how has the type of food people eat changed over the last 50 years? Okay, so what would be your answer to that? Yeah, very good, Safina. This is a comparison. So we're comparing past and present, okay? How things have changed over 50 years. So what kind of ideas do you have for that? Okay, fusion in foods, Jasper, very nice. Very good vocabulary for that, yeah. We have more options to choose from. Okay, very good. People ate whole, unprocessed food in the past and there was no GMO. Okay. Okay, so it's quite good. We've got some negatives, more healthy in the past, but more choice these days, perhaps. Yeah. Okay, very nice one, Sarah. Social media leading to an increase of awareness about healthy eating. Globalization, very good. Yeah, vegan food. Okay, yeah, foreign restaurants, people have got a lot more choice now, particularly in the cities. Okay. Okay, different cuisines. More canned food, yeah, definitely more processed food these days. Okay, very nice, James. We've got campaigns about healthy lifestyles, so awareness, that's quite a good topic to talk about. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so this is quite nice because we've got a huge range of people, of different countries that people are come from. So, what are some popular foods in your country? Okay, yes, Instagram. People look at their Instagram feed and use it to choose the dinner. That's very true. Okay, so we're describing. Okay, we've got from Punjabi cuisine, street food, rice, plantain, and beans. Very nice. Tacos. What else? What's popular in your country or in your area? Okay, we've got doner kebabs, spicy food. Oh, mezban. You'll have to explain what that is. I don't know that food. Borscht. I do know biryani, baked plantains and bread. Some very, very nice food coming up. Thai food. Yeah, I'm getting hungry too, Divya. Tandoori, pad thai. Oh, pad thai. Still love pad thai. Makai Kiruti. Oh, Safina, can you explain what that is? Jamaican oxtail and beans. Gosh, this sounds really good, doesn't it? Remember, you're going to have to explain these words. That, you know, if you talk about a certain dish, you're going to have to explain what's in it, maybe the kind of food, you know. MREs? Any idea? I don't know what are MREs, Brad. Ah, okay. Lechon, grilled pork, very good. Ah, Mackay is maize. Okay. G meat. Okay. Maize is corn. Yeah. Eba is cassava dumplings. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. All right. So variety of cultures. Very good. Snake. Seafood. Very nice. Okay. Oh, amala and ewedu. Sorry, I know I'm pronouncing that very bad. Can you explain what those were? What those are, Adeola? Pani puri. Okay, that I do know. That's very nice. Okay, and just quickly, so we have time for the mutton trotters. Excellent kangaroo. Fufu. Okay, and finally, how do you think our eating habits will change in the future? Okay, very good. So, well, this is a speculative question. Okay. People will eat less. Oh, okay. Amala is plantain flour. Very good. Okay, the impact of Western eating habits, or maybe people begin to eat more healthy. Indoor vertical farming. Yeah, farming, I think that's a definite area that's going to change. Less diversity, more health conscious. Okay. Aggressive food habits. Okay. Move towards bugs. Yeah, that's one of the insects supposed to be very important in the future if we're going to have enough food, organically grown food. I've got some positive points of view and some negative points of view coming out here. Protein shakes and meal bars. I hope not. Okay. Vegetarian. Okay, yeah, veganism. Hopefully that will, or maybe they'll go back to traditional foods. Very interesting. Okay. All right. Okay. So, good idea, you know, as with the task two, you know, try and cover as many different questions as you can so that you're prepared for whatever comes up. Same with the speaking. Try and be prepared for lots of different types of questions. Think about those 6 types that we looked at. You know, it can be quite a good exercise to just choose a topic and try and generate questions. Okay, what could be some, you know, talk about the environment, what could be some comparison questions, what could be some past present questions, what could be some speculation questions, and try and cover all of those topics that generally come up in the IELTS. Okay, so thank you.
Okay, fantastic. It's been great hearing all your views on foods and the different popular foods in your countries. We're going to have a chance to discuss some of your questions, but I'd first just like to say a big thank you to Annalie for presenting today. So thank you very much, Annalie.
Thank you.
Excellent. So this webinar has been focusing on speaking. If you are interested in getting some additional support with your speaking, we offer a paid service which is for speaking examination. So you can take part in a full mock IELTS speaking test with a qualified speaking examiner. It could be Annalie or myself. We'd go through the full speaking test with you and give you feedback on your performance, both spoken feedback and a written report afterwards. So if that's something you're interested in, you can find that on our website. I'm just popping the link. Brad, you beat me to it. Thanks very much, Brad.
He's on it.
Cheers. So yeah, I think we can crack on and look at some of your questions now. So if you do have additional questions, pop them in the Q&A and you can vote for the ones you'd like us to discuss the most. So our top question here is from Sarah May. She's asking, do we know if Canada accepts the computer online IELTS, or do they prefer the written traditional IELTS test?
Unfortunately, I can't answer that. I don't know. You would need to get in touch with Canadian immigration. There shouldn't be any difference between the computer-based and the written once it's introduced. If it's a British Council exam or it's an IDP exam, then I would be very surprised if there was any difference between the computer-based or the handwritten one.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think because they're both offered by the British Council, they should be valid in exactly the same places, but you might want to check that out, as you say, Annalie.
Yeah.
Great. This is a question from Neha. How long does part 3 of the speaking test go on for, and how many questions can the interviewer ask in this part?
Okay, so it's a minimum of 4 minutes and a maximum of 5 minutes. And you're likely to be asked about maybe 5 to 6 questions. Really, I mean, depending on how much you say. But if you speak for a very long time, it's likely that the examiner will stop you and move on to a different topic because he wants to cover, or she wants to cover quite a good range. So probably 5 or 6 within 5 minutes.
Okay, great. Just noticed a message from Somar in the chat, who has said that both versions of the test are accepted in Canada. So thank you for that, Somar. Excellent. A couple of related questions here about body language. So Mitali is asking, does body language matter in the speaking test? And we had a similar question from Awad. Will body language add, to the score if I'm moving my hands, smiling, or should I speak quietly? What's your suggestion there?
I don't think it's going to make that much difference, but it's always good if you are, you're looking happy, you're looking like, it's not too awful being there, even though I know it is quite awful, looking enthusiastic. Certainly you want to have some in your intonation. You want to get some feeling into your intonation. You definitely don't want to be, with some kind of very flat monotone in your voice. That's going to reduce your marks in the pronunciation. So putting feeling into your answers is going to be important. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. A question here from Pratik, who is asking, I heard that going off topic will reduce your score. Is that true?
If it seems that you haven't understood the question, then yes, that's going to affect your fluency mark. You would be marked down for that. If, for example, in the part 2, you start on the subject and maybe as you go through, you start to go a little bit off topic, that's not really going to be a problem. In the part 3, you would want to stay very focused on the question that's being asked.
Yeah, definitely. A question here from Sajad. Will we have any webinars on speaking part 1 and part 2? in the future. So Sajad, we recently did a webinar on speaking part 2, and the recording for that is on our Facebook page. So you'll be able to find the slides for that and the recording via our Facebook group. And if anyone could put that on into the chat, that would be great.
Can I answer it? Sorry,
yeah,
Joe,
go for it. Yeah.
I just want to answer. There's a question from Kimeka about being penalized for speaking too long. You cannot be penalized for speaking too long. Okay, the timekeeping is entirely the responsibility of the examiner. So you should just focus on saying as much as you can. Okay, and the examiner will have to have the timing and keep to the 5 minutes. That's their responsibility. You just talk. Keep talking as much as you can.
Yeah,
okay?
Exactly. Michael is asking, when is the next session? The next webinar will be next Thursday, Michael, at the same time, and the focus will be on the general training task 1, so writing a letter. We've had a lot of interest in general training. Next week, we'll do our first webinar on general training. Okay. A question from Aaron, and this is quite a tricky question. I have a problem expressing and collecting words spontaneously when I think, but when it comes to writing, I'm able to do it without any problem. Why is that so?
Yeah, because in the writing you have more time, there's less pressure, there's, you're not faced by somebody. So it is easier, if I can put it that way, to write than it is to speak. You need to do more practice. That's the only way that you can get those words active, get them so that you can find them very easily from your brain and you can get them out in the right situation. So just make sure that you're speaking as much as possible, even if you're just recording yourself at home, and you pick a question, record an answer. You're still going to have to think of what to say. You're still going to have to structure your answer. So, that's good practice. But you've got to get it sort of here at the front of your brain so you can really get it out. Yeah.
Definitely. A question here from Evangeline, who is asking, well, it's a very good question. What if we don't have an answer for what the examiner is asking? If we're clueless about the topic, can we talk off topic, or what would you suggest?
Okay, first of all, the subjects are very general, so it's very unlikely that you're going to be asked about something that you would be clueless about. It's food, family, work. You don't have to have any special knowledge. It's all very general. Mainly this is going to be in the preparation. So, as I said before, looking at as many questions as possible, practicing as many questions as possible so that you've covered different areas, you have an idea of what to say. General preparation of listening to documentaries, watching documentaries, reading articles, because that's also going to be helpful for your writing. It's also going to be helpful for your listening and reading. So that kind of general preparation is going to be, very, very important. If you don't have, for example, you don't have a restaurant, let's say you have to talk about a restaurant that you go to now. Maybe you don't have a restaurant that you go to now, but you could talk about one that you used to go to. So it would be quite fine to say, well, at the moment I'm not really going out to restaurants, but about 10 years ago I used to go to this one, and then you can talk about that. So, you should flag it up, you should make it clear why you're changing it slightly, and then that would be okay. But don't worry about being asked about something kind of technical or odd. That's really not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. A question here from Doston. Which test practices can I do for my exam? Please give me advice. Doston, on our website, IELTSonlinetests.com, there are a number of example speaking tests that you can try with example answers. So you can go online and check them out. We also offer a paid speaking evaluation service, which you can do a full mock speaking test with one of us. So that's also an option for you. We have a couple more questions here. For one from Ilkiaz. Which is more important in the speaking exam, fluent speaking or grammatical accuracy?
Well, they're both. They're both important, but you don't want to be so focused on getting the grammar right that you lose the fluency. I think that the fluency is really important. Think about it in terms of the examiner, how easy it is for the examiner to interact with you. That's kind of what they're going to come away with at the end of the speaking test. They're going to sort of think, well, that was very easy. That was quite a nice conversation I had with that person. So that's good scores. Or, they might come away thinking, gosh, that was a real slog. That was really hard work getting information from that person, in which case you're going to get quite low marks. But really, a balance of the two is what you are looking for.
Definitely. Question here from Sabatya. Sorry if I'm not saying that right, Sabatya. How many seconds of pause can we take before answering the question?
Okay, good question.
Yeah.
Okay, it's quite natural to, need to think about the content. You can, use a filler. You can say something like, oh, just let me think for a minute, or that's quite an interesting question, or I've never thought about that before. It gives you, 3 or 4 seconds to think about what you want to say. I think it's usually quite obvious to the examiner whether you are pausing because you're thinking of content, which is fine, or pausing, because you're thinking about, you're trying to find the right word, or you're trying to find the right grammar, which is a problem. Yeah. So they can usually tell, but I think it's quite natural to have a little bit of a pause at the beginning just to collect your thoughts and then give a good fluent answer. Once you start, then you need to really keep going and not pause that much once you started speaking.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm afraid, everyone, that we're rapidly coming out of time for today's session. So we still have a lot of questions. So I think we'll be hosting another speaking webinar in the very near future. There should be one coming up in the next few weeks. We'll post the details on that on our Facebook group and also on our website as well. So yeah, next Thursday we have a general training webinar as well on letter writing task 1. So I hope you can join us for that. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today and for giving us so many great questions and info about your food as well here. And a very big thank you to Annalie for presenting today. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Hope to see you again.
Yep.
Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. Hopefully see you again soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care. Bye. Bye-bye.